Hi, we're back for day 2 of our meditation challenge. We're doing 64 meditation techniques over the next 30 days. It's really exciting. So on day 2, we're going to work on connection. We're going to start the same way, just giving you a couple techniques each time, and then everything is building on itself. So each time that we add in a technique, we're building the meditation practice. So that looks like reviewing day 1, and going over our pillar of light and body of light. And now we're going to add, for today, our family of light, and then calling in all of our angels and guides, ascended masters, our higher self, connecting to the creator of all that is, your whatever you want to call the higher beings and the higher realms, whatever that means to you. Maybe this practice is new to you and you're not used to connecting to anything beyond the physical self, because this is not a religious practice at all. So for those that are not religious, then you can call it whatever you want. You could just connect to nature. For me, I just connect up to the sun. And if anything going beyond the sun feels a little too weird for the beginning of our meditation practice, then just let it go. It's no problem at all. You can just stay connected to nature, and you can stay connected to the moon. You can connect to anything above your head. You can just connect to a cloud in the sky and just call that your heaven. Okay, so today, day 2 of our meditation challenge is about connection. Okay, so that's part of our activation, is to allow ourselves to connect to something greater than just this physical being. And so pillar of light, body of light, family of light. That's the basis of all the meditations that I do. And then with that, we make a declaration. Remember, with our body of light, we allowed ourselves to create a bubble around us. Okay, and so we're sealing in our field. And then we had our pillar, and so we're going to start to fill up that pillar with this golden white light that is going to heal the body and start to calm the mind and create a greater sense of peace and stillness and awareness and presence. So we want to be grounded, connected, present, and centered in our physical being, which will then pour over into our emotional being and our mental being. Our psycho-spiritual being is what I call it. So you're welcome. I welcome you to use, I invite you to use whatever names really resonate for you. I leave this pretty open-ended because everybody has their own practice. So if you're used to meditating and you call upon your archangels and you have your spirit guides or even the fairies or whatever realms that you like to connect to, feel free to use it in your own way. If you're brand new to meditation and you're not sure who to call on or what to call on, you can call on maybe one of your ancestors. Maybe you have a grandma or an uncle or something like that that's crossed over and who's passed away, that you can feel like they're your superstar angel. Maybe it would feel good to do something like that. I also have an entire team I call my spiritual council that I call upon. So I like to call on some of our masterful beings that have been on the earth at one point or another, and then allow them to offer me some sort of support and guidance, and just to be my cheerleader. You know, sometimes it just feels good to connect to something beyond the physical form, to know that there's something greater than all this. So I find that this connection is an incredibly important part of the meditation process to get us out of the day-to-day mind, which I call the mental mouse. You know, some people call it the monkey mind, but I happen to call it the mental mouse. And it just seems to be running around on a maze all the time and kind of chasing thoughts and to-do lists and all that. So what I find is that if we think of our pillar as the trunk of a tree, and then you think of the root system as our grounding, like our tree can ground and have roots down, then it has branches that go up. And those branches that go up, every leaf on our tree is our family of light. And so if you want to think of it as just the sun touching every leaf on your tree and bringing it more vitality, more life, more essence, then that's beautiful. Some people like to go up into the higher dimensions, and they have this whole quantum family that they connect to, and much more interdimensional practice. So I like to make this available and accessible to all levels of experience. And so I just invite you again to find your own relationship to your family of light. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more, and why I call this the core activation techniques, and how we can start to pull in energy from these higher realms. So the sun is my source. I am really quite connected to the sun. I'm a sun creature. Not everybody is, so maybe the moon feels more like your source, and you like that coolness and that nighttime vibe of the moon. But I'm like a solar panel. I get my energy from the sun, and I really like to be out in the sun and spend time convening with the sun, communing with the sun. And that brings me lots of vitality. I get very energized by the sun. Not everybody does. I have some friends that are like shade plants, and you can just see they start to wilt if they get too much direct sun. And so I would recommend anybody that feels like, oh, the sun might feel too intense or too strong, connect to the energy of the moon, which is the reflection of the sun. Right? So whatever calls to you and draws energy into your field in a way that feels the most rejuvenating and revitalizing, I invite you to practice. Okay, so today we have 2 techniques for day 2. So pillar of light, body of light, family of light, and then we're calling upon our higher self, our angels, our guides, ascended masters, all light beings, all those that are dedicated to the divine plan of light and love and here to serve our highest and best with loving support is our declaration. We want to be extremely particular about who we let into our field, who we let into our bubble. Okay, so I'll say it one more time. So calling upon all angels, guides, ascended masters, light beings, all those that are here to serve the divine plan of light and love, dedicated to that practice, and also serving the highest and best of what's possible for us, our individual self, with loving support. Okay, loving support I find to be incredibly important, because we do know that there's lots of people in our lives that can be a little bit more of like the trickster or antagonist energy. So call upon those that are going to really serve your healing practice with loving and support and gentleness. Let it be easeful and graceful. Let it feel good to come back to your meditation. Right? Feel that loving support when you come into this space. I find it incredibly helpful. I have like an entire team or an entire entourage that is constantly with me. And not only are they surrounding me and loving me, but they're cheering me on. They're sending me those accolades, that approval and praise that I need when sometimes the external world or my physical reality might be a little bumpy, right? And if anybody's feeling a little lonely out there or isolated, this is a wonderful way to remember how connected you are and how deeply loved you are to something greater and beyond what we're seeing on the physical realm. So yesterday was about the body, today is about connection. So let's go ahead and spend a little bit of time reviewing all of these techniques in a meditation practice. Like I said, it's going to keep building upon itself. So I want you to find a comfortable seated position. Cross-legged is really nice. Hands can be resting on the knees, connecting the index finger and the thumb. Make sure your pillar has got your spine nice and strong and straight and aligned. Keep the crown of the head open and right over the heart. Right? So let the heart be leading the way, the head come back over the body, and there's a kite pulling you up into the heavens. So now start to let that kite drift all the way up into the sun. And it's solar proof, so it's not going to go up in flames. It's not going to disintegrate with the power of the sun. It's going to be welcomed into the core of the sun. Okay, and you can start to feel that cosmic radiated energy starting to pour down through your pillar of light and fill your entire body. And then your body of light 3 feet around you starts to expand, and you have this amazing space that you're holding. Let your body start to expand to fill the space. This electromagnetic field around you called a toroidal force field, we're going to get into a little bit later as we move on in our meditation practice and get more comfortable with the techniques. But just remember to seal in your body of light with an electric blue trim and a vibrant purple film. Step into that bubble. It's going to protect you, keep you safe and secure, like in a little electric fence. And then the purple film, will filter out all low frequencies and only allow the highest and best vibrations to come into your field. So you want that guard there, right? Like any important place that you'd want to get into, there's a guard standing by that's only allowing those that are welcomed into the space. And now we're going to allow ourselves to connect vertically. We're going to start to eliminate all the horizontal porting or energy leaks that happen from connecting to our external world and start to connect vertically, right? So when we call upon our family of light and our angels, guides, ascended masters, frequency holders, wisdom keepers, call upon any sort of fairy or angelic archangel realm, whatever works for you. I like to connect up to the Tibetan healers. I call upon all of the wisdom and the geniuses within the realms of science and sacred geometry and spirituality and healing. Those are the areas in which I'm interested. If you're interested in sports, if you're interested in any sort of other activity, you can call upon some of your ancestral lines, right? Somebody that was famous in the past. You can call them into your realm and just make sure, let's keep our eyes closed now, and just make sure we're connecting to that space. We open up the crown of the head and call upon the energy of the heavens. So we make the declaration that only those beings that are serving the divine plan and dedicated to the divine plan of light and love and here to serve our highest and best with loving support can be present now. Any and all energies are commanded to clear and leave our space, sending them back to their source. Okay, so reclaiming our space is so powerful and so important to allow us to release any sort of parasitic energy and start to seal up any sort of energy leaks that might be happening through our connections, either consciously or unconsciously, through our relations, through people of the past, and just through any sort of interactions that have been malicious or negative in our field. We're starting to cleanse and clear them out. We're asking them and commanding the space and having them exit and leave our system so that we can reclaim fully our energy body. And this is an extremely important practice. We have all run into the troublemakers and the tricksters of the world that might have been lodged or stuck in our energy field, and we always take time to clear those out. And I want you to consider, we're going to work on this much later on in the techniques, but consider who would you want on your spiritual council? Who would you like at your round table? For me, I have people like Einstein and Abraham and Oprah and Deepak and Tony Robbins, Maya Angelou. The list goes on and on. People alive and non-physical are all welcome to be part of our roundtable, which means they're part of my council. If I ever feel like I need help or support, I call upon them to work with me and through me. I'm clearing up my energy field as much as possible to be this channel and a vessel for the highest vibratory states to come through. So this will affect our mood and our attitude. This really has a tremendous impact on our thought process and to unravel the belief systems. A lot of the thoughts that we have just been perpetuated and passed down through the DNA, and we're not even choosing it. They run like reruns on a tape. And then we want to start to consciously choose what we're available for, what we're listening to, what channel are we tuning ourselves to. Okay, so to complete our meditation process for today, you guys are doing great. Stick with it. Let's just focus on our pillar, our body, and welcoming our family of light. We're calling upon all of the angels, guides, ascended masters, wisdom holders, all those that are here to serve the divine path of light and love, and also supporting our highest and best, guiding us, loving us, cheering us on. They are the only energies that are welcome in our field. And start to feel the visceral shift in your energy field. Start to breathe into that space that you're holding and that you're claiming as your own. Notice that your energetic body can start to kind of feel like it's vibrating or dancing or bubbling as it expands. And just focus today on that feeling of welcoming in your family of light. This can be people that you were once related to, or it could be anyone in the entire universe that you feel connected to. Maybe if you're curious, you can look up angels and guides as a side practice, as a side note, to call upon some energies that might be attractive to you. There's Archangel Michael and Gabriel and Saint Germain and all these very popular people that are often called upon. And you could be calling upon Jesus Christ or Mother Mary, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Martin Luther King. I call upon all of these different people that are physical and non-physical that might have some quality or an aspect that I'm looking to experience for that day. Maybe it's a greater sense of confidence or trust or belief or sense of compassion and that love and that understanding for humanity. Maybe I want more power, more strength into my day. Call upon the qualities and aspects from your family of light of what you want to be experiencing that day. Sometimes I'll call upon even somebody like Robin Williams if I've been wanting to experience more humor in my day, right? Both Tony Robbins and Robin Williams are on my spiritual council. So I'm calling on Tony Robbins when I want more power and more pow and more activation. And then I'm calling on Robin Williams when I'm wanting more humor, more silly, and more laughter. So those are just a couple of examples of what I like to experience on my day-to-day. But please do feel like you can make it your own and consider just sitting for a few moments, maybe even writing down your spiritual council of 12 or 13 people that you would like to call upon on a daily basis to add more quality and more depth and more meaning and more purpose to your life, or more fun. More fun is really important too. So thank you once again. I'm Jen Healy. This is the completion of day 2 of our 30-day core activation meditation challenge. And I'll look forward to sharing more with you tomorrow. On day 3, come on back and check us out. And I will tune in with you again tomorrow. Blessings. Namaste.